Welcome back, guys, to Shannon Gibson Art and Designs and to today's pour. And as you guys can see here, I'm doing something a little bit different. I recently got some flood Floetrol. I live in Canada. It's not that easy, but I had just got some about a week ago and recently used it in an elegant swipe, which I will link for you guys. But there are lots of artists out there that do fabulous pearl cells. And even though it's not my go-to technique or pour, I really do like them and I do really want them in some of my pieces. So because I'm really practical and I like keeping things simple, I wanted to create my own simple basic mix. And I'm hoping that this works. I think it will, because I have Artist Loft Flow Acrylic, which from what I've seen is very common, one of the most common whites to use for pearl and cell cloud pours, as well as titanium white. Now this is by Artist Loft, both products, and again, most of the common paints that's used with Titanic is Amsterdam. It seems to have some type of magic in it. I don't know what the properties are, but that seems to be a very popular white for that technique. So because I have both paints and because I really want to be practical with my recipe where I won't be doing pearl cells all of the time, but would like to have a pearl cell mix handy, I thought that I would strip it down and I'm just going to use a few simple ingredients. Now again, artists do it different. We're all our own individual artists. We all are visual in our own way. And ultimately, it's what works for you. And like I said, I want to keep it basic because I won't be doing pearl cells all of the time. So all I'll be using is the Flood Floetrol in the first cup, mixed in with the Artist Loft Flow Acrylic White. And then I'll be using the titanium white in with the Floetrol. And then, of course, water to thin. So I know there's 5, 6, 7, sometimes 8 different products that people will use for their pearl cells. I know that Artist Loft is a main factor, and I know that Flood Floetrol is a main factor. So my theory is I should still get them. Now, the type of shape and form, that's going to be determined. So that's why I wanted to try it with both, see if it would work, and if it doesn't, then of course, I'll just have to adjust my consistencies and ratio. And my paints that I'll be using today is this gorgeous metallic cobalt blue. And as you guys know, I did an Ocean Vibe series in this, which I will also link. And I also got some gorgeous pearl cells in 2 pours. Totally unexpected, guys, which is always a great surprise in fluid art. So I decided to use that again today because it is a 2 paint and it's like a medium body. It's pretty thick. And it's also a metallic, which does interact different with different types of products, and I use them all of the time. I figured I would go back to that blue because I love it, also because I feel that it works well with the Artist Loft. And I'm going to go ahead now, guys, get my work surface all prepared. I will mix up the 2 different paints for comparison, and then we're going to get going and see what happens. All right, guys, so it is mixing time. I'm excited to see how this turns out. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get cells. It's just what type of cells I'm going to get because I've stripped this recipe really down to the basics. So I have my 2 cups here, guys, and I have this 1 ounce solo cup. Just because my Flood Floetrol is so new and it's full, I just thought it would be a little bit easier to pour into this cup. I'm doing a 2-to-1, so I'll have to fill this up twice and then actually pour it into the cup. But first I'm going to pour my paint in. That's just how I mix my regular concoctions up. I always do my paint first, then my Liquitex as my pouring medium. For me, I just find it easier where my pouring medium is lighter than my, not as heavy as my regular paints, and where I don't measure, I can just see it on top. Now, because I'm doing this mix, and it has to be exact, because it's a specific recipe per se, I want to make sure I measure so that I know my ratios are going to work or not. So we're going to start off here with 1 part paint. So that's going to take me up to the 1 ounce mark. Okay. Now, just kind of hit it. It's pretty thick. That way I can see it how much I have in there. Okay. And I'm just shy. Okay. I'm just going to put these aside because I'm messy. So like I said, 2 parts. So I'm going to fill this up as close as I can to the top. And then I'm going to add that in here. And then add another part because it's 2 parts. So I started off with 1 ounce, roughly 25 mils. And then now I'm going up to roughly 75, 3 ounces. Okay. And I want to scrape that because I just want to make sure that I am exact as possible here, guys. I'm just going to take the excess Floetrol. Okay. I'm going to put that aside, and as you can see, I have 3 ounces. Makes it a little hard here. I'm at 3 ounces. Here's my water bottle. I no longer have lines on it. I don't check, and I won't be measuring this as well. So I'm just going to, I know this one's a little thicker, so I'm just gonna add in 5 or 6 drops there. At least that's how I calculate that. Fill that up. Alright guys, so I have my consistency already, and again I apologize if you can't see that well, but it does stream and flow right off the stick, but there is still a slight mound and a trace there, okay? And it's the same with both of them. Not sure why I didn't use 2 sticks, but I definitely could have. And again, it streams right off the stick, but there is a slight trace and a mound. And that's how I want my base. So that's thinner than my regular paints that I'm mixing up. As I mentioned earlier, I'm using that gorgeous metallic cobalt blue. And this here is a little thicker. It does have a mound, as you can see. And I wanted that to be thicker than my base coat. And then I have my Radiant Gold, which is already the right consistency. I had already checked for that. I guess I could have showed you guys that, but I didn't, and I won't. I don't want the video to be too long. So now I have these 2 1-ounce solo cups, now that we have our mix all ready for the base. And I'm just going to pour some in each cup. Okay, roughly about the same amount. Okay. And we're going to add in some of our gold. And I'm just going to make a little design. I'm not going to do a puddle on the canvas, guys. I'm just going to top that off with a bit more blue. All right, guys, so it's been about 10-15 minutes or so, and I'm thinking that for this small canvas that we're good. So here on my right, once again, we have the Artist Loft Titanium White mixed with the Floetrol Water to Thin. And then here on the left, I have the Artist Loft Flow Acrylic mixed with the Floetrol Water to Thin. So let's take a look one by one. So immediately, the Artist Loft, to me, has worked way better. You guys can let me know down in the comments which one you like better and which one you felt works best. But those cells stayed in really good form. I will give you guys a close-up. And I love those. They're definitely pearl cells. And they look a lot like my Avalanche and Glacier pours. And again, I will link those for you guys to take a look. And you can decide for yourself. But right over here on this end are my favorite ones. Got lots on the sides too, but these ones here are beautiful. Okay, I love them. I love the composition of this pour, and I love that I didn't get a huge amount. Okay, I don't want them to be so clustered that I can't enjoy the actual painting. For me, that's just my style. Okay, and this one here, as cool as it is, I don't like in the center where all the cells, not the pearl cells, but these other cells that you guys saw were coming through. Those definitely got a lot more stretched out. But I did get some really nice small pearl cells down along the sides. I don't mind this one, but again, if I wanted a pearl cell pour, that's not the outcome that I'd want in the center. With that being said, guys, this looks fantastic as a little set. I think just like that for the composition, that looks good. So you guys comment below and let me know what you think. Was it the Artist Loft or the Titanium White you prefer? Titanium, Artist Loft. And I'm definitely still going to experiment. I do like the consistency, but I think I'm gonna go up on my next pour. And so keep your notifications on, and I believe I'm gonna go up to a 3:2 ratio. So 3 parts Floetrol, 2 parts paint, and I'm gonna be using the Artist Loft. So for now, I know that I can get them. I know I can get them in great form with the Artist Loft. I didn't get a major cluster where I just see a little bit of paint in the center. I don't like that. I like how I have them in different areas of the pour. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you've taken anything away, if you've learned anything, if you found that this is going to help you, please like, share, and subscribe. It's free and it helps the channel. And I will see you guys soon in the next pour.